Apologies, continue.
This is like a chicken and egg situation in always having to dress ourselves up and wanting up each other. Oh, she's got this, so I have to get this and more. Yada yada. It seems like once it starts, it's a self perpetuating cycle. We have to constantly one up each other. It's just that initial impulse to be better than, and that just creates a constant cycle of I'm better than you. Well, then I have to be better than you. Okay, you're better than me, so I have to be better than you again, and on and on and on and on. And it seems like a neurotic mess, and it seems like it's rampant in our education system and instilled in us as children through and through and through and through. And we just carry that through adulthood and through the rest of our lives as a natural state of being. It's always in our motivational posters, it's in the nature of our sports and activities, be they benign or whatnot, of you have to be better than. Not you can be better than, you have to be better than.
Or what?
That's the thing. It's never quite said, but people experience being shunned, being disappointing towards others, risk, risk, experiencing the illusion that you think you're coming off as to others. Okay, did not, um, I did not, okay, the report I generated um, did not get very good feedback. Yet uh, my coworkers went through with very minimal edits. Okay, so I suffer because I believe others are disappointed in me. Whether or not they are doesn't matter. Whether even if the material's different, I'm afraid of the illusion of them being disappointed in me.
Correct.
And that, so I must be better than him or her so that I don't have to suffer that illusion of myself.
That is some insane logic you offered. But
I know.
Accurate.
I know. It's fucking wild. Wild.
And because you were able to put it into words, what you have seen cannot be unseen.
Mm-hmm.
You have become aware of a problem, and one we might add you are not going to enjoy, because it will leave you at a feast that the world offers, but now all you will taste is salt.
Mm-hmm.
How to cook something different and come up with other food options has not occurred yet. And so all you see is everything you don't want to eat. It is an important spiritual period, a dark night of the soul. You don't know how to go forward, but you know you can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
And there you sit.
Yeah.
And it becomes the question, how much pain can you tolerate before you have no choice but to try something new? How much does the platform you stand upon have to burn before you become willing to leap for the bar in a trapeze act for the one in front of you? A leap of faith. And everyone is different in that answer. And so begin spiritually your dark night of the soul. Let us see how much pain you can tolerate before you decide, perhaps I should move. But understand clearly, to accentuate what it is that's going on. You are not worried about what they think of you. That goes into the drama of being human.
I'm worried about what I think of myself.
That is the only one. That is your enemy. That is what drives you. That's why you constantly dress the mannequin before you and confuse it as yourself. Because what you are avoiding is how you truly view yourself. It's a fascinating understanding of your world. On the one hand, your science proves that when you think in negative terms, your body generates poisons within its systems that actually attacks itself, destroys cells, makes the energy systems inefficient, and depending upon the severity, inefficient enough to cause disharmony, enough to cause disease. This work has already been done. Louise Hayes has many books on this subject, making the connection and how it begins and how the energy traverses. It's not in question. It's a scientific fact. Now, that does not speak to the part of the group mind that no longer listens to science. That is a subject of a different matter. But for those that still understand the discipline of logic, it comes down to the fact that it is a science. It cannot be denied. And yet, and understand when we say the word children, there's a reason why we use it. And emphasize on the children of God becoming adults of God. And put down the play toys. So you have it in your science that this is a fact. Charted studies, papers written, approved by peer results. It's a fact. And yet the leap has not been made on what happened to that energy buildup for all the little negative things we feel and think about ourselves during the day. Where does that energy go? They've already said and proven that it can cause disharmony in the body. If the emotional body is chock filled with this and constantly encouraged by the way that you treat each other, the way that you think about each other, within the group emotional mind of humanity, it is built up to the point of you separating against each other and attacking each other as the problem. This has happened before. You have done this before. When the energy builds up to a certain extent, it must be released by turning physical. And your history already has proven true how this is released. One nation decimates another. One part of the populace decimates another. They attempt to act out the physical energy because it becomes so consuming that there has to be an issue for this feeling, this build-up. We must give it a purpose. And so a subject is picked and it is decided who shall take the blame. It must be these people. It must be those people. It must be this nation. And then you go about the drama of acting it out, slaughtering each other, for the purpose of shaking off the energy, channeling it through to remove the gulf of intensity within the group mind. And when it is done, then comes the point of, well, that was insane. We won't do that again. That only happened because of these individuals. This only happened because of that situation. We won't do that again because now we understand the importance of peace. We are unbelieving.
We had a war to end all wars, and now we're in a war. Or we were in a war for 12 years, and before that, a few more wars, and now there's another war. So I guess the war to end all wars never really ended all wars. Why do we default to violence? And I can't, I have a hard time believing that it's in our nature. I have a hard time believing it's in our nature. What is the seed that conditioned us towards such violence?
It is, well, let's keep it simple. Are these animals violent?
No.
No. Can they be? Let us remove their food. Let us remove their water. Let us set them up into a realm of competition for it. Let us put them into a situation of constant abuse. Let us take away the normalcy that makes them civil and put them into a uncivilized situation. Would they become aggressive?
Mm-hmm.
The seeds are always present. You are in a physical body. Within it lies the structure to survive. And what will it do to survive? Much.
Anything.
Anything. Because the point and purpose of it is to continue at all costs. And when you purposely and intentionally treat it that way, those self-defense mechanisms come online. As you would scientifically say, the lower brain impulses would begin to dominate. That's its purpose. That's its point. And while the unpleasantries of the moment may not be palatable to your civilized sense, but the fact that it remained to breed and create more life when things can now straighten out and there is someone present to continue is its point and purpose. It's its only purpose, to survive. So we look at you and say, why do you run your planet this way? You have the resources, you have the food, you have the technology present to make it work. You have the ability to change. And you ask us, why not ask yourselves? Why do you insist on running down different sections of your world to the point that that base reaction of of survival, animalistic, will kick in. Why are you not exploring the higher regions of what you are capable of? Does it not interest you?
Well, looking at relationships, I would give my life in the world for my husband. It seems that that seed can easily be overridden.
But that's
I will sacrifice my vehicle for my husband.
that is a committed relationship, and you talk about it like it is sacred, and we do not mean to demean it, but it is no more sacred as the two goose at the lake.
I don't know that story or analogy.
They mate for life.
Ah,
And so the survival instinct includes that. You do anything for your mate because you bond for life.
and now brings up the question, would I kill for my mate?
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we drift. Our point to you in bringing up all of these things is understanding these are the window dressings. What you are looking to avoid is what you feel and think about yourself. It's why you run to the mannequin, which creates the buildup of energy within the emotional sense of the group mind. Think about the prosperity of your nation. There are many nations on this planet, but let us focus on yours here. You often share the story with your mate on how the East decided to mirror the West and run their finances and society the way that they did. And it almost destroyed their economy. Why? And now look at what's happening here. This nation arose from a period where they had nothing. They were just coming out of a war. They did not have the means to produce. And if it was with a struggle. They sent the people that lived here and their children to get scrap metal to be able to build weapons to stay in the war. And not just the weapons, but everyday goods. They had to reclaim what they threw out because they could not produce. And this then went into being able to produce. This went into being able to have a renaissance of being able to pay an income and being able to afford, being able to have. And then the children came in for that generation and was told yes, perhaps way more than they should have been. You can have, you can do, you can be. And why? Because the parents were using them as mannequins to remove their sense of lack.
Don't make the same mistakes we did.
Depression era, the children of the Depression era, the children of opulence. Those who did not have and suffered, those who lived through watching those who did not have suffer and did not have themselves, to children that must have everything. Dressed to the T, fashion, toys, the latest, many presents under the tree, vacations, educations, so that they can rise above the station that the parents were from. All of this created a sense of who has and who has not. Because again, parental expectations. If you do not have, that makes you what?
Less than.
A powerful weapon to beat a child with. Children beating children. And so this passes on to the next generation. To the extreme. Because that generation had to have it so much that they did not even bother as a whole to do what their parents did for them and give to their children.
Holy fuck, we talked this exact moment, these exact notes happened, this exact conversation happened weeks ago.
Correct. We have talked about this before. And so it's a passing on, creating the aspect that in order to be the one having the attention, there's a sense of cruelty that goes with it. If I could truly define myself as better than you and be beyond reproach in my presentation, then I am better than you. Which makes me okay. And makes you, well, go park a car. You're dismissed. Opulence. Built on financial instability. This country has ruined its finances for this need. It has depraved its financial foundations. All of it is built on a sponge work of nothingness that is about to begin to collapse. So that those that came from this generation could rise up into opulence, into I am all that and more. Because that's what was important. And to hell with anyone else. That's your problem. Well, that's not quite how it works.
I'm loving these conversations because I ask questions that, like I asked about compassion, it's in every spiritual work, every spiritual library, every spiritual store, every meditation. But talking to all of you, it goes back to the same theme you've repeated over and over and over. You can't understand this until you understand your own mind.
Correct.
Hence, there is no straightforward answer with the way we understand our mind. The answer is straightforward, but it makes no sense because, again, understand the mind.
Correct. It is like you two going to the Museum of Torture. You caught a glimpse of what it was going to be about at the gift shop. Did you truly need to go through and listen to the presentation and see the horridness of each of the devices? Why experience that? Why not just understand it?
It's different. It's not knowledge, it's experience.
By us circling around, and please understand, sometimes when we address and the way that we address, we're touching on points of people who will listen, not just yours. And so we touch a broader span
Mhm.
of the answer to reach a broader audience, to understand and see the bigger picture. And in this, we just took the brightest crayon in the color box and connected the dots. And why must we connect the dots? Why didn't you? We didn't reveal any arcane secrets. We didn't reveal any complicated yoga that was secret. And we didn't call in a guru to do a presentation that came down in once in his lifetime from the top of the mountain to reveal it. These are all everyday facts that's present before you. And the distractions in your mind, this is where we call everything home and bring it back to compassion. The reason why compassion is so difficult to understand is because you haven't yet allowed yourself to see the real image in the mirror. Everything you do to the mannequin is in reaction to that image. But you haven't stopped dressing the mannequin and just looked at the image. With compassion and choosing to connect moment by moment, you begin to undo the karma of that image, the fear of what you think is there, the energy that has built up. And we have given the demonstration many times in the book, Finding the Inner Self, through our private conversations with you, now through our public conversations with you, that the point, excuse us a moment, loss of transmission. Wow, it's gone. Give me a moment. I'm beginning to wonder for these gaps if there's something going on with my brain where it just goes into forgetful periods and I can't remember what the hell I was saying. Alright, I'll come back.
Everything we do to our mannequins is to not see the image in the mirror. Just look in the mirror, strip away all those layers.
Yeah,
In our conversations with you privately and in public.
Yeah, they're referring to a technique in the book. I know that much.
Our point to you is...
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. The transmission just, like, the concept was there and just gone. My brain just like in a total, Give me a moment, it'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
It always does. And so I'll point to you, as we have said in the book Finding the Inner Self, that when you are looking at yourself and you are perceiving that image that you do not want to see, and you're in that space of accepting that energy, compassion comes into play. That is the point when you demonstrate the truth of what you are. So you choose to be in the moment. And you slowly undo the karma of what you have created. And in that moment, the confusion most often for compassion is that when you are connected and you have that moment, and let us just say that you were at that point in time about ready to dress the mannequin because of fear of not being intellectual enough. You were not smart enough. And instead of allowing that fear to run rampant and grab the who, what, where, why, and when, you instead focus that moment in connection and you allow it to fill you. I know. I know. However that comes to you, the chicken or the egg, the next reaction is that that energy that was building is still in your perceptions. But now it's within the light that you connected with. And you watch it begin to waver and fade like it doesn't exist into nothingness. And in that instant of fading, you are saying goodbye to a part of yourself. You have experience of compassion, watching it dissolve because it is not necessary. You are not judging it.
Mm-hmm.
You are not trying to change it. You didn't organize it. You didn't direct it. You watched it unexist. That experience is compassion. The undoing of the energy, of it fading out of existence, undoing the creation. And we have said in the book that when you understand the mind truly, you will watch the universe change according to your will. That is a small moment. That, as you choose connection, will happen in bigger and bigger moments, more pieces, more parts of that. And you are undoing that which right now you refuse to see, which is why you dress the mannequin. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, very much so. It's a lot to take in, but it's natural.
Good.
I don't know how else to explain it. It's like, duh.
Just call us master of the obvious.
Thank you, masters of the obvious.
We reveal what is apparently clear. But the truth of the matter is, it is not. What we offer and what we say is not commonplace. If it was, you would have gotten this quicker.
Mm-hmm.
What is commonplace is how to dress the mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the reason for the violence in your world, the reason behind what is occurring in your world now, and if nothing is done, what will occur from it. And it is so simple to say it is a choice. It's hard to be a logical choice if you don't understand that you have it to make. If you don't understand the one you are currently making, you can't affect the one you're going to make. And so it is truly not so simple. We have said that the issue on your planet is not environmental. It's not based in resources. And it's certainly not based on limitations. The issue that all of them that you are currently facing is a result of lack of consciousness. You have, in mass, more people existing on this planet at once. Can you think of a previous time that the world populace was more present than now?
Present as in everyone and their mothers are here?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it creates a concentrated energy. And what is being concentrated? Indeed. What is being concentrated? What are you choosing to concentrate? Everyone is fighting over everything so that they can avoid being conscious. You are consuming the energy of this planet at an amazing rate and transforming it into what? I am better than you. I am more than you. You are not enough. You should not exist. Does those words offend you? You've used them before. Many times, in fact, as a race. You should not exist. More than using the words, you took the actions to back them up. And you are about to do so again. And why? Because in mass, all of you are trying to fight over the energy here for nothing more than the illusion of what your mannequin is wearing. The illusion of what your mannequin has for presentation. Over that you cannot take with you. And as we have said previously, the drama of the ego is finishing. One play is ending and a new play is beginning. A time of chaos. And we believe we can quote ourselves in the book of saying, as saying, could you not think of a better ending for yourselves than this? Must you nearly destroy yourselves? as a conclusion of your final judgment of your worth?
The finale of the dramas is the exclamation of, "We are not worthy."
Are you?
It's a fallacy. It's I don't know where it came from, this "we are not worthy."
The original point just came back. So, as we have said previously, we make this point over and over again. We want you to understand the importance of it. We have said that you are not responsible for healing this world. And you are not responsible for healing the group mind. You are only responsible for your part in it. What you have created. It's the only thing you can change within it. But when you do, it creates a cascade effect. Because within the group mind, it is being demonstrated that other options exist. There is no greater act than the act of demonstration. And it is not a spiritual principle. You demonstrate all the time. I am fear. It is your main act of demonstration. I am fear. So we discussed what is actually in the mirror when you stop dressing your mannequin. What is that image and what have you been hiding from? What do you truly feel and think about yourself? Why do you need to appear smart? Why do you need to appear abundant? Why do you need to appear beautiful? Why do you need to appear accepted? Each of you have had times where you appeared just the opposite. And for all of the woes of you sitting back on the couch and lamenting over that experience, paying perfectly good money to share that with someone else, all the drama, all the pain, poor me. But did you die? Did truly life end? No, it did not. And it is not a question to say that to seem like we don't have compassion. But there comes a point in time that if you never get off that couch from complaining, and you've gone into debt several times over trying to pay the bill of being on that couch, that maybe it's time to get over yourself. Or what you think it is. How much dedication of your energy do you want to spend on something that never worked in the first place. Because we circle back to the essence. It certainly doesn't give you a sense of fulfillment. It certainly doesn't give you a sense of purpose. You certainly panic over the fact that it can change and be threatened at any time. What does this have to do with being? And when you lose the body, what do you have left? It is not some sense of school or something you must learn or something you must purify that gets you directed to be in that body. We are not taking responsibility for you. We did not direct you to do this. Surprise, surprise. There is no soul school that directed you here. Set expectations for you like you are some idiot in creation. You are not. You are fully capable of all of it right now. What drives you into the body is the obsession with the mannequin. When you release the body, you get to know yourself more, but it doesn't quite scratch the itch of having a vehicle to manifest through and playing with those perceptions to make it better than you fear you are.
Ooh.
It is your addiction. And the engine that runs it is fear. But before you can get to the engine that runs it, you must first accept that you're addicted, that you can't stop. And the beginning of the process is observation. Observing it from a detached point of view. And the importance of doing so is because it begins the step of you redefining your energy within this group mind, manifesting it now, here, in demonstration. Not just to you, but to all the minds within the group. Not just to this lifetime, but all of the lifetimes illusion using the idea of time that is currently going on. You demonstrate the truth of what you are, and you undo the energy that has helped currently manifesting the conditions you live upon, that you live within. And by so doing, you give options through demonstration to everyone around you. And that is not the point of the demonstration. The point of the demonstration is for you. The point of compassion is for you.
The point of confession?
Compassion.
Compassion.
Is you. The purpose of love is you. Because without you, love does not flow. And if it did, you certainly would not need to ask questions of us about it. You would be within the experience of it now. But the fact that you have questions demonstrates to you that you are not.
Mm-hmm. It's under all the confusion.
And we can be the finger pointing to the moon for many lifetimes to come. We can only point. We cannot solve. The only one who can undo the creations that you created is you. But you have to be willing. And to answer the question you asked our son, you can explain this so well. Why can't you demonstrate it? And while he fumbled for words, the answer he gave was because ultimately he was not willing to have it happen yet. Are you?
I'm done playing make believe. I'm done. I'm done. This is boring to me.
Good.
It's boring. I feel the oncoming of another just existential crisis, for lack of a better term, of I'm done. It's on my periphery. It's in my periphery. I'm done.
Existential crisis. Should we get the couch prepared for you?
No, because I think it's going to be a really good one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so maybe the popcorn.
That we can do. As your culture would say, we will pray, Brenda.
I've never heard that.
You have never seen the movie Scary Movie?
No.
A good watch.
Okay.
A classic icon. So, did that shed some more light on the idea of compassion from within and without?
More than shed light, it shattered illusions of compassion. I learned that I didn't know what compassion was, and I'm pretty damn sure most things out there written about compassion isn't capturing it. It seems it's missing that element of accepting and extending. And it misses the element of being effortless.
And as we have said before, we will repeat it so that you begin to really understand the importance of the statement. There are many teachings in this world of those that who have supposedly walked this path. What was said, what was inspired through them, what was done, from many different paths, not picking on any one of them. And you can read them and try to understand what was said and what was meant. They were never meant to be taught from a position of not being connected. It was meant to be passed down from one connected to another, to constantly shed the light for those who have not consciously connected yet. The problems within those teachings is that they are being taught by those talking about connecting, but not being And so the primer is missing.
The primer, yes.
The primer being connected. Our son, we believe, has spoken to you about the book and the original concept. That it is not written in a normal way for books to flow. It does not make logical sense. It is not written for your mind to intellectually understand. It's written from the standpoint of intentionally and purposefully creating experience. And sometimes, if we might add, intentionally and purposely trolling you to create a reaction, to see within, to see the ugliness that we speak of, for your own mind to be illuminated, to say, what was that? And realize, if our subject was an anger with God, to intentionally say things that would piss you off, that we said things such as that about God. Well, if you had a strong reaction, would that not indicate you have a strong support of those beliefs? Well, 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 what's in the mirror? So the point of doing the book in this manner is an attempt to get future generations to learn. Because if we may say, the intellectual approach hasn't bore much fruit. It simply hasn't. And so we took the approach of the experience to put it here and let that catch up later. To have it done here, let that try to figure it out later. Because there are not those here with the primer. And those that are in the public, people don't really listen to them. They don't truly submit to their teaching. And therein lies the issue. Many of the lineages of information being passed from one to another, and understand the difference, spirit will always come through. Because even if someone killed the vehicle, our son would come back, whether as male or female, and the ability would still be present. There is a multitude of possibilities to occur if he is to be a channel within that life. What did he intend? Did any unexpected situation happen to turn him from that path? Certainly. But there are a multitude of people who do this. And so we will always be here with you to simply point the finger that way. So when we say lineage, we are talking about physical representations of those who have awakened and have fully awakened another. And then they have fully awakened another. And so on and so forth, so that the physical teachings have remained a constant. The Dalai Lama would be a fine example of service, of being present, regardless of the time, regardless of the circumstances. He is. He is present. And he gives the teachings. And those that travel with him are present. What happened to the lives of the others? Greater things you shall do than I. Truly. Greater what things? Where is the lineage? Where are the miracles? Where are the healers? Where are you? Where is the path of Muhammad? Who did he pass the torch to? What were his teachings then? What are they now?
People kill each other over that question.
Correct. Those type of questions can get you killed.
To this day.
To this day. And yet, it must be asked. Because time is running out. Time is running out. Where is the lineage? In order for the teachings to be passed, the primer must be present. Where are the connected individuals? And the truth of the matter is, this cannot even be broached until people are willing to ask the question about connection in the first place. And right now, the intent, bringing it back to the Museum of Torture, of silencing the voices, is don't waver the illusion. Don't point to that which is not acceptable to point to. Everyone is dressing their mannequins, rearranging, making it real. And as our son had shared with you, one of the greatest wisdoms he learned as a reader is to never reveal the truth to someone that is not willing to hear it. Because they will try to kill you. Because it is you, or whether that which they choose not to see. History shows which choice is clear that humanity makes. And our peace to you.
Thank you. Oof.
I need a pizza.
Me too.
How was that?
Normally I'm like a half page to a page. 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost 6 pages with a lot of fucks.